What's going on, guys? This is Ryan with RK Outpost, and a few days ago I came to you with the story that a couple of weirdos want to cancel Ubisoft because of how Latino characters are portrayed in video games, and they're mad that Giancarlo Esposito is going to be portraying one of those characters. But today, the heat is on Ubisoft after a report from Jason Schreier, after we find out that Ubisoft committed the horrendous crime of allowing players to choose whether their character is a male or a female. The horror. Can you believe it? There's obviously a lot more to it than that, including some accusations of some way more serious stuff than that. But let's get into it. You can see from this article, Ubisoft leads reduced female characters' role in Assassin's Creed games. New report claims. And we will get into that. The subtitle here, an expose on Ubisoft amid multiple allegations of sexual misconduct, says those issues seep into the company's games as well. And this is the report. It's on Bloomberg from Jason Schreier. Now, Jason Schreier, also someone who did an expose on Naughty Dog in regards to the work environment around Naughty Dog. Now, before we get into it, I do just want to say that there are a lot of former employees in here, and any current employees are anonymous in this report. So just as a precursor to what we're about to talk about. Now, this covers a lot of stuff. And to be honest, the part we're going to talk about the changes to Assassin's Creed, how Ubisoft didn't want a main character to be a female, is really a pretty small part of it. You can go and read this for yourself on Bloomberg. But one of the things I find a little stupid about this entire article is the fact that it's trying to tie up all of these things about these allegations, anywhere from sexism to sexual assault and harassment. They're trying to tie these all together and say this is the reason why they didn't want to make Kassandra the lead character in Assassin's Creed Odyssey. And I think that that's a little disingenuous, to be quite honest, because let's be real, we know why they wanted to make it both Alexios and Kassandra. We'll get into why and the numbers that prove why Ubisoft did this a little bit later. An overwhelming number of allegations of sexual misconduct against top Ubisoft executives have emerged in recent weeks, leading to major shakeups at the French company. And please forgive me for any French names that I have to pronounce because I can't pronounce them. This includes high-ranking Ubisoft employees having left the company amid these allegations, including Chief Creative Officer Sergei Hassoet, who has faced many of said allegations, Managing Director of Ubisoft's Canadian studios, Yannis Malat, and Global Head of HR, Cecile Cornet. Now, a new report by Bloomberg's Jason Schreier has gone into greater detail on these issues, citing several more instances of sexual and racial misconduct, on top of describing a hostile and machismo work environment that pervades the entire company, which has offices all over the world. The report goes on to explain that these problems, described as systemic and deeply entrenched by multiple former employees, seeped into the company's creative decisions as well. For instance, the roles of several major female characters in multiple Assassin's Creed games were significantly reduced following orders from either the aforementioned Sergei or the company's marketing because, quote, female protagonists wouldn't sell. And of course, what are people going to do? They're going to point to the couple instances we have where female protagonists sold really well. In the case of Tomb Raider, which has been an IP that has been around for 2 decades. Yes, Tomb Raider sold well. Tomb Raider does sell well. Horizon Zero Dawn was a smash hit. That is an absolutely fantastic game, and Aloy is a great character. And of course, we just had The Last of Us Part 2, the fastest selling PS4 exclusive, but we all know one of the reasons that this game sold that well is because Joel was so involved in the marketing, don't we? We know that, and Neil Druckmann knows that, and so does Naughty Dog. That's why they included him, because they knew if you thought this game was just going to be about Ellie and Abby, it wouldn't have sold the way it did. And there's a reason for that. These people know who their audience is. Ubisoft knows who their audience is. Let's continue on, and then I'll show you why they know that. This report explains that an early outline of Assassin's Creed Syndicate had twins Jacob and Evie Fry sharing equal screen time as the Deuteragonists. The final product saw the latter's role being reduced and the former playing the much more dominant role. You do get to play as both Jacob and Evie. I guess I don't remember. I wasn't a huge fan of Assassin's Creed Syndicate in general, but evidently they're saying that Evie had a smaller role compared to Jacob. I don't necessarily remember that. Following that, Assassin's Creed Origins was originally going to either kill off or seriously injure its protagonist Bayek early in the game, with players taking control of his wife Aya for the rest of the story. In the final game, she was playable for a negligible amount of time and had a significantly reduced role. Finally, 2018's Assassin's Creed Odyssey was originally going to have Kassandra be the sole playable protagonist, but the development team was told that wasn't an option. Now, if you remember, there's been a lot of talk about that because there's a pretty good consensus that people think that Kassandra is actually better to play through the game as her. If you haven't played Assassin's Creed Odyssey, you get to choose whether you're Alexios or Kassandra. Whatever choice you make, that other character is still there in the game. They play the same exact role, but the experience with the voice acting for Kassandra, a lot of people really prefer that to Alexios. However, what happened in this game? Let's see. Now, this is clearly a very biased article. 2/3 of Assassin's Creed Odyssey players chose the wrong protagonist. Assassin's Creed Odyssey gave players a choice to play as one of two siblings, Alexios or Kassandra. According to Ubisoft Quebec game director Scott Phillips, 2/3 of gamers chose wrong. Okay, he didn't say that, but he did reveal that they chose Alexios because when given the choice, most people are going to want to play as a male protagonist because guess what? It's predominantly male characters that are playing these games. That's not a surprise to anyone. That is not shocking in any way. Now, we have Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which is coming out, which again, you can play as either a male or a female. In this case, you're going to be the same character effectively, Ivor. It's not going to be brother or sister, but it gives you a choice, which that is awesome. That is exactly what I want, is a choice. I think that's fantastic. Then guess what? If people want to play as a female character, they can. If people want to play as a male character, they can. I see nothing wrong with this, and neither do most people. But ever since this report has come out there, you have this flood of people right now talking about Ubisoft. Corey Balrag, of course, who he's involved in God of War. Yikes, could not be more untrue. She was the best part of that game. And of course, Kassandra was supposed to be the only lead in Assassin's Creed Odyssey, but Ubisoft said women don't sell. You even have Anita trying to stay relevant. Bless her soul. I have heard this exact sentiment. Now, this is based off this tweet. I wanted to read this tweet for you. The women don't sell argument in the games industry is a good example of how patriarchy, white supremacy, and capitalism are intertwined and reinforce one another. God, these people are freaking insane. These are the people that you think that gaming industry should listen to. These are the people that are telling you that patriarchy, white supremacy, and capitalism are intertwined and reinforce one another, so you should make female-only video games. That's the solution. In Assassin's Creed case, it also means facilitating history and culture memory as the actions of white men. Of course, these are based off a couple screenshots. One, Jason Schreier tweeting that out, talking about women don't sell, right? That's what he said. This person, I was in the Montreal studio on Assassin's Creed 2 to 10 Origins, and Ubi execs said, women don't sell every single time. I'm in awe of the Ubi Quebec staff who fought their teeth and claws to get Evie or Kassandra to even exist. And of course, then you have this person who retweets that. The gentleman from editorial said, the protagonist must be a straight white alpha male, and underlined it in red marker. Again, that's not true, because Assassin's Creed Origin, which this person was talking about, Assassin's Creed Origin is based in Egypt. He's Egyptian. I don't think that that's a white person. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I had the tint off. Maybe I had the scale off on my TV when I played it, but I didn't experience that as a white male. That's just me. And of course, we had Kassandra as a playable character in Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and we're going to have that in Valhalla as well. So these people are taking this opportunity to attack, and retweeting that insane tweet, of course, was Anita Sarkeesian. I've heard this exact sentiment repeated constantly throughout my career. This is not unique to Ubisoft. I had devs regularly come up to me at events and parties telling me secrets about how higher ups and publishers would constantly axe any attempts at female protagonists. Let's just be honest here. Assassin's Creed Odyssey sold really, really well. giving players a choice. Assassin's Creed Valhalla is likely to sell really well, giving players a choice. And especially in the type of RPG that they're going for, I think it makes sense to give people a choice whether to be a male or female protagonist. But let's not get it wrong. Even though you can give me a couple examples of these female protagonists in really excellent games, with the exception of The Last of Us 2, that performed well, that's not the case a lot of times. When given a choice, players would rather play as a male. Companies know this. Companies aren't that stupid. Gaming developers may be dumb, but they're not that dumb. I think Upper Echelon Gaming has a great point right here. I'm kind of in awe right now at this Assassin's Creed should have been female only shit. Are we somehow pretending that Ubisoft doing what's most profitable isn't 100% expected? Gaming is overwhelmingly comprised of young men. They catered to the market. Duh. Like certain beauty products just aren't typically catered towards men. They can be, but the vast majority are not because it's less profitable to do. Being upset about that would be the dumbest thing I've seen in a long time. And he also says right here, kind of like I was just talking about, I don't understand the push for less choice in games now. You can choose male or female, that's good. Anyone upset about that needs to relax, but this idea that no, we want only women is straight up garbage. Now that players have choices, you don't take that away. Here's a hot take. Ubisoft execs were right to shut that shit down with Assassin's Creed. I'm flat out glad they axed the ideas to make the game only have female playable characters. Let people choose. Kassandra was dope, but let them choose. We're going to continue to see this from these freaking weird people online. They're going to take this report. They're going to run with it. The idea that Jason Schreier has somehow conflated the idea of actual, sexual harassment and sexual misconduct leading to Ubisoft saying we don't want female protagonists. That connection is tenuous at best. It's one of the things I don't like about that Bloomberg article is he tries to make these connections from these, anonymous sources. But that's the story that's out there. I'm interested to hear everyone's take. Personally, like I said, I like the fact that I can choose. I like the fact that in Assassin's Creed Valhalla, I will be able to choose. I also like that I'll be able to switch in game to kind of figure out who I would rather play as, which voice actor I prefer. That will be interesting as well. I think all this stuff is so blown out of proportion, and it's just 2020. This is what it is. Ubisoft is probably going to be forced to come out with some apology. Maybe they're going to block male Ivor in Assassin's Creed Valhalla because they get so freaked out. Who knows what crazy stuff they're going to be forced to do to bend the knee to this crazy mob right now. Let me know in the comments below. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I will talk to you later. Thanks for watching, everyone, and a huge shout out to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. Want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram? Check out the description below. You'll find links to my P.O. box and my Patreon as well. I'll talk to you guys later.